Chelsea have this amazing tendency to raise their game against the bigger teams. Solve that problem. Why is it Chelsea can lose games to Wolves and Forest and everybody else at home, but you put them against a decent team like Villa away or Man City away, and they put in performances like that? It must be massively frustrating. They've spent a lot of money, but why is it that they can perform against the bigger teams, but they can find no consistency against the lesser teams? Maybe there was a couple of penalty decisions in there Man City fans aren't happy about. Love to get your thoughts on that as well. 03717 223344. But remember as well, I did promise you, question mark. So before we get into the calls this week, we have a new feature which we're calling question mark. If you send me a WhatsApp voice note to 03717 223344, I might get to answer some of these later on in the show. So save the talkSPORT phone number into your WhatsApp on your smartphone. The number is 03717 223344. If you've got a pressing question, either about football or perhaps about life, send it on WhatsApp and I'll answer the best ones later on in the show. Right, let's get into these calls. We've got Keane, who's a Chelsea fan. You're the first call. What's your thoughts on Chelsea today, mate? You must be very happy with the result.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the result. But I think he should have took Jackson off. I don't think Jackson should have came off. I know I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to close the game down. But against a top Man City team, you don't do that. They love low blocks. They love teams that are just going to sit back because they've got the best attack in the world. You know, we all know they're dominant, and it's really annoying. We should have won that game. It's disappointing to walk away with a draw.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, look, I've just watched the game, and as I'm sure many people have, and I felt that Chelsea haven't got a game until next Sunday. Man City are playing midweek. Most of those City players, Rodri, De Bruyne, Doku, Foden, they played 90 minutes. Pochettino's taken off Palmer on 70. Sterling before that, Jackson. And every time you got the ball, all right, Man City had more of the ball, you expect that. But every time he had the ball, you looked like you might score on the break. And he went to a back five. And I was like, too early, Poch, way too early. I know at the end of the day, you get a point out of it. But yeah, I think it was a little bit defensive. But what's the answer to the question as to why Chelsea can play well against teams like Man City and Arsenal and probably next week in the Carabao Cup final, and yet you're still in that mid-table position? What do you think the problem is with Chelsea this season?
Well, as I've heard you say before, we do need a top. I think we need a top striker, and I know people say Nkunku can do it, but for me, Nkunku's not a striker. When we got him in, maybe we should have, you can try and put him as a striker, but he's not a striker. You need someone like Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney, or someone of that level to put up front, put Nkunku behind them, and I think you would create more. But to give you the answer on the question, why does Chelsea play better against the big teams and lose against the smaller teams, is I actually think against the bigger teams you've got more of the push, which I think you should have that in all of the games. Because I watch a lot of non-league football, and I see that in every game they're pushing to get the results. And sometimes when I watch Chelsea, I'm like, why are they not doing the same? Why are they not? Maybe they are, but to me, sometimes I don't feel like we're putting in maximum effort sometimes.
Yeah. Great call, mate. Thank you very much for starting off the show. Let's go to another Chelsea fan. We've got Ryan. Do you agree with that previous call, Ryan? Yeah, a bit disappointed you didn't get the win, or is it just not getting beat and a bit of progress for Chelsea that's lightening up your Saturday night?
It's quite annoying considering I'd like to say that we were the better team. I know we didn't have as many shots, as much possession of the ball, but I feel like we controlled that game. And our defence, Disasi was amazing.
He was, yeah.
And I actually feel that defensively, Man City were awful today. If we actually had a good striker, it could have been 3 or 4 with the amount of chances, because we were able to get through either the left-hand side or the right-hand side so easily with a through ball, and then just a simple square it into the box to whoever it may be, and we only just lacked that finishing touch. So I feel like that's the only thing that I feel like we needed to improve on. But then there's nothing you can do much about the the goal took a lucky deflection, and who knows if I couldn't really say if it was going in or whether Petrovic would have saved it. But, I feel like we were really unlucky, but I think just need to focus on the cup final next week.
Yep, 100%. Thank you very much, Ryan. Don't forget as well, we're talking Chelsea. It's just finished 1-1 with Manchester City, but Liverpool Arsenal fans, give us a call, 03717 223344. What does this do for the title race? Well, I'll tell you. Liverpool stick top of the league, 57 points. Arsenal second, 55 points. Man City third, 53 points. They've got a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they go above Arsenal by 1 point, but they'd still be a point behind Liverpool, even with that game in hand win. So the initiative has changed and Arsenal are right in amongst it. What are you thinking, Liverpool and Arsenal fans, about that result? Man City fans, I mean, look, couple of potential penalty decisions. I don't think either were, but the one that worried me was the last one where it lands on Colwell's arm and you just never know how that's going to play out. Let's listen to Chelsea fan Luke in the Czech Republic. Luke, what are your thoughts on the game?
Hey, Mark, I was with you in the live stream, by the way. Well done, as usual.
Thank you, mate.
We just talk about, we were looking clinical for 60, 70 minutes, and as soon as Palmer came off, I thought to myself, oh boy, are we parking the bus too early? I mean, did you feel it the same way? I think we lost all our counter-attacking ability as soon as it happened. Nkunku's not fit or not playing well. I'm not sure what's happening. And then Chalobah coming in. I think we lost it at the sub. I don't know if Chelsea fans feel the same way.
Yeah, I think if Man City had won that at the end, Pochettino there'd be a lot of callers saying Poch out. He's not the right man because he played. We have a quiz game in the UK called The Chase, and basically you get as many points as you can, and then this genius chaser chases you down. And I think that was what I was thinking about Chelsea. Did they have enough goals in the bank for when Man City chased them down in the last 20 minutes? And you did for a draw. But it could have gone wrong, and I think he did go too defensive. But look, I think one of the other thing, what I would say, if I said to you, Luke, before the game, 1-1 draw, and a lot of people will say Chelsea played well, you probably would have took that.
I mean, it probably would have bitten your hand off for it, mate. But, I mean, it's about game management. I think if you're looking at the way that we're playing, okay, we've got young squad, we're inexperienced, it's true, but there's clinical points at which Jackson and Palmer and even Sterling, of all people, are actually putting a game together. So at what point do we actually look at Poch and say, okay, game management, 20 minutes left, what are we doing? I don't think it's good enough. I think if this is the new standard of what Chelsea should be, then we all got to wait a few more years. But, I mean, for me, it's unacceptable. I think we really got to look at Poch, and I think Chelsea fans have got to actually, we would have bit your hand off for a draw at the beginning of the game. That's true. But come to game management time, I mean, I feel like we really should have won that. And I think a lot of that was down to Poch.
Great call, Luke. I do think he took off Palmer, Sterling and Jackson way too early. We've got a Man City fan, Jackie, at the game. What were your thoughts on that? Do you think you should have got a penalty at the end as well?
Yeah, good evening, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. What are your thoughts on that? Not your best day, but not a loss.
No, there's a couple of points I'd like to make. First of all, the Chelsea fan who came on and said, Nkunku's not a striker. He is. He scored 3 goals against us when we played Leipzig, when we won 6-3. So that's my first point. My second point is, Poch went too he went really, really defensive, and that's when City seemed to open the game up, and it was a blatant penalty. I mean, I sit in block 111 at the Etihad, and we could see the Chelsea fans on their faces as though say, oh my God, they're going to give us a penalty, they're going to give City a penalty. But Mark, we wasted so many chances again. We had 32 shots on goal, and we wasted so many chances. But the title race isn't over by a long shot. It is not over. You know what City are like, don't you? They fight till the end, and we just have to keep going and going and going. That's all we can do. It's just one of them, isn't it?
I think the compliment I would say to City is that when City drop points, it makes the title race more interesting, because I'd still say your favourites. And I mean, Haaland missed a couple of chances as well. I mean, he had an off day, so you did have chances.
Yeah, we did. But I'd like to comment on Doku. Doku was absolute. I do not like to slag players off, but he was terrible today. He kept falling over. Can't understand why when he gets to the byline he will not take the player on. He goes backwards to go to the middle, to go forward. And this is the difference between Doku. He's a great player and he will become good. But this is the difference between him and Jack. Jack can take the player on and run to the byline and get the crosses over, whereas Doku's really struggling on that score. But, you know, he's with Pep, and I'm sure, in time he will become a lot better. But like I said, the title race is open, and I like it when it's like this, to be fair, because it does make it more interesting. And we've got that game in hand, and we've still got 42 points to play for. So, like I say, guys, for all the Blues who were there today, along with myself, keep the faith, boys, and we'll fight till the end. We'll fight till the end.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.